Hey everybody, happy Thursday. How are we feeling? How are we doing? It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 5, Episode 13, and we are live on this beautiful sunny December day. How's everybody doing? I see y'all in the chat. When I tell y'all SLC is that girl, they are the best city, in my opinion. I mean, I think that is, we all think that, but SLC is eating, everybody is doing their jobs. And SLC, I mean, don't beat me up, but somebody that I follow on Bluesky, shout out to you. You said that this season is giving early Real Housewives of Atlanta vibes when they were in their golden era, season 6, when they had it was just chef's kiss. It's giving that. Now, am I talking out of turn? But I agreed with you and I said we see each other because it definitely feels like that. Y'all, I mean, SLC is in their bag and they are literally carrying Bravo on their backs right now. Potomac and Beverly Hills are cute, but SLC is that girl. Yes, SLC is the top of the top. Oh, you paused SLC to come here. Yes. Oh, we have mods in the chat too. The moderators, do your thing. I'm happy that you're in here. And if you do want to be a moderator, just feel free to email me. Give me your name and your YouTube name, and that way I can add you. And then also, that's the way to do it. But I'm welcome to any new moderators, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. Yes, we have not had one filler episode yet. Every episode has been a 10 out of 10. SLC, I guess in sports language, they are shooting at 100%, okay? Everybody is batting 1,000. Yes, honey, we have mods now. Look at me. We are moving on up. Thank you so much. I love y'all. I love y'all right back. Yes, y'all. Oh, I love you guys more. But y'all, let me just say, Bronwyn, we got to talk, sis, because, baby, I still like Bronwyn, but these last few episodes, I'd be lying if I said that she hasn't had me a bit confused, okay? But y'all, with all that being said, let's just jump right on into it because you guys already know that we don't have a minute to spare. So, hey y'all. So we start off the episode with Meredith at home. Her and her entire family, except for her oldest son, Reed, are there in the kitchen. So Meredith, she's making her family smell some bath bombs. And now Seth says, look, enough about all that. Let's talk about your bar mitzvah because what the hell happened? So Meredith says what set her off was when she found out that Brittany was crying because Angie had slut-shamed her. So she says that Brittany was visibly shaken up. And then she goes on to say that last night her bat mitzvah was all about no hate and slut shaming is hate. Now, you guys have heard me say this so many times, but Meredith Marks belongs on a soap opera. The dramatics with everything. I mean, slut shaming is hate, and it is hate. Like, let's not get it twisted. It is hate. But I'm just like, the manner in which Meredith speaks, everything that comes out of her mouth feels so intense. She's definitely missed her calling. Well, you know what? It's never too late. It is never too late to go after your dreams or dream a new dream. So Meredith, girl, go sign up to be a soap actress because that's where you belong. Angie meant everything she said. She always has a little smirk. Yes. Yes, Meredith has been extremely extra this season. Oh, yes, definitely. And also, one of y'all had me screaming. Y'all said that everybody in that family has the same vocal fry except for Seth. He's the only one with some juice in his voice. Everybody else they kind of like Meredith, Chloe, and Brooks all give Kardashian with that vocal fry. The hi, how are you? We're good. It's very much flat. But it was just funny listening to Meredith talk to Brooks and Chloe, and they're all talking the same. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, the other son does sound like that too. Reed, yes. So now, um, Meredith says that Angie's behavior has been despicable and she can sit and cry about being thrown out of her bat mitzvah, but she shamed another woman. So she says, I don't understand why Angie is consumed with Brittany's sex life. Leave her alone. So now she goes on to say that Angie always hits below the belt. It's mean girl behavior and she's just not down with it. So now we see a parallel scene with Angie and Sean at home, and they're also talking about how Meredith kicked them out. So Sean's like, how do you feel at this point? Angie says, I'm pissed. I feel like we both went in there with great intentions. I went in with an open mind and an open heart, and you just don't invite any old body to a bat mitzvah unless you have no friends. And then she throws some shade saying, well, maybe that's it because Heather's plastic surgeon was there as well. So now Angie says that she hasn't stopped crying. It was cruel and demeaning. And then she says it's obvious that Meredith is harboring old feelings. So she goes on to say that it's very embarrassing. And then she wants to know how in the hell is she supposed to go to Puerto Vallarta with Meredith there? Now, one thing about it, I love how Sean will always have his wife's back. He's like, don't let that lady take another second of, how you feel. Like, don't ever give her that satisfaction again. And I said, again, one thing about it, Sean rides hard for Angie K, as he should. So, Angie girl, I love you and all, but one thing when it comes to you and Meredith, you know that Meredith gets easily triggered when you're around. So you need to tread lightly. If I were you at that bar mitzvah, I wouldn't have said all that. I would have said, you know what, Brittany, I'm going to read you the next time I see you, but I'm not going to do it at somebody else's bar mitzvah. So I feel like knowing that you and Meredith are not in a great place, every time you guys are together, you're always arguing. You had to have known that any little infraction or any little slight, Meredith would try to embarrass you, and that's what she did. So I mean, yes, girl, I love you and all. And that read about high body count hair, high body count dress, high body count shoes. Yes, it was funny, but at the same time, you should have known that Meredith would be pissed off at you, and you should have treaded, just tread a bit lightly next time. That's all I'm saying. Yes, Angie took the bait. Do you think she was doing it for TV? I think that Angie does a lot for TV, and I'm not even being shady when I say that. It's clear that Angie has always wanted to be on the show because Meredith had said that when she was a friend of, remember in season 3 when her and Meredith got into it at the reunion, and Meredith said, girl, you auditioned to be on this show 3 times and got denied each and every time. Like, you're a wannabe, you're thirsty. And say what you want about Angie, but she is, she's thirsty to be on the show. She enjoys being on the show. She enjoys being famous. And I think that Angie does do the most because she wants to solidify her spot on the show. And yes, she does go overboard sometimes. But yeah, she definitely does this for TV. I feel that way. Yeah, she plays up to the cameras. Oh, and Angie, I've met Angie twice at BravoCon. Then I saw her again at the Van Leeuwen ice cream collaboration with them and with Bravo and Van Leeuwen, the ice cream brand. Yeah, I saw her there too. She was very sweet, very lovely. I was able to talk to her for a few minutes. But yeah, I think that Angie, as lovely as she's quite excited to be on television. And I'm gonna leave it there. Oh, we have South Africa in here. Oh, yes, come through. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. It's a show. But I will say, I think with Angie's entertaining, exactly. But with Angie, yes, she knows how to read as well. But I do think that Angie leans in to the thirst. Whereas you have other, let's take a good example would be Jacqueline from Potomac. Jacqueline is thirsty on a whole different level. Mia's thirsty on a different level where it's not even fun to watch. Angie's thirst is actually fun to watch. It's entertaining. So that's why she gets a pass versus other people. So now we cut right back to Meredith at home talking to her family about this whole thing. And Meredith said, oh, Chloe says it was so funny when Angie's husband Sean jumped in. And Meredith says, well, I don't care because they've gaslit me time and time again. The comments about Brooks, the comments about my hearing aids, like, really? My disability? I said, Meredith, girl. I said, my God, it was a silly joke. Angie was not trying to make fun of you about the hearing aids. I mean, one thing about it, Miss Meredith Marks is going to make a mountain out of a molehill. So now we jump over to Mary, and she's at Angie's house. Now, it was so cute because Mary just let herself in because Angie wasn't even by the door. Now, Mary, as much as you talk about etiquette, and I know that you and Angie are good friends and all, but girl, you showed up to Angie's house empty-handed. I got to, clock you on that, girl, because you were hollering about etiquette and knowing how to act a few episodes ago. So I'm just kind of like, all right, girl, I'm going to let you pass with that. But I did notice that you came there empty-handed, but okay. It's okay, girl. It's okay. Because we know that if the shoe were on the other foot, Mary would be saying something like, oh, you came to my house empty-handed. I cry every time Mary's on the screen. Yeah, Mary is hilarious. I love how good of a friend Angie is to Mary. Yes. And that's a real friendship. So so Angie is, fluffing up the flowers, getting everything prepared, and she doesn't even realize that Mary's on the couch. So Mary's like, peekaboo, like, I'm here. So Angie's startled. She's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I'm trying to get everything ready for you, but okay. So Angie brings out a nice charcuterie tray and some champagne. One thing, Angie was raised right, because Angie is a good guest, and she also knows how to be a good hostess as well. Because in every scene with Angie, she has always had an amazing spread. Potomac, please take notes, because y'all will have somebody over with some tap water and a grape and a cracker and call it a day. And you're lucky if you get that. Yes, Angie's home is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Angie said Mary sent her a gift beforehand. Oh, okay. So yeah, forget what I said. You got it, Mary. Forgive me. I spoke out of turn. Yes, honey. Angie knows how to feed the people. That's why I have such a soft spot for her, because Angie is a woman after my own heart, because that was one thing I know how to do well. Host people, be a good house guest. I will always come to your home with a gift, a bottle of wine, food, a dessert, like a candle. And I know how to feed the people too when I host. All right. So me and Angie, we are right here. So now, Mary's like, I probably won't eat anything, but it looks beautiful. And now they open up the champagne. It was cute because they were both struggling to open up the bottle, but they eventually get it open. So Mary says that she's had a rough day. And Angie's like, okay, girl, what's going on? Talk to me. And Mary's like, do you know when your kids start acting weird, when they're avoiding you, they're not looking you in the eye? And you can tell that Angie's doesn't know what she's about to say, but she's just listening. So Mary says she sat her son down and said, tell me what you're doing. And she said, we talked, and boy, did he tell me what's going on. So she says, Angie, he opened up to me, told me things that I did not even know. I had no idea about. He said, Mom, I do drugs. I tried this. I tried that. Now, remember, in that episode when Mary and her son had the talk, I remember hearing it was acid, Xanax, and Coke. We find out in this scene that Rob Jr. was also doing heroin. If y'all, when I tell you guys, I was silent. I was gagged. I said, wait, what? I said, did they say this before and I didn't hear it right? I could not believe what I was hearing. I said, oh my gosh. I said, Robert Jr., the Lord is on your life, because what a blessing that he is still alive after trying all that on top of heroin. I was in shock. So, she's telling Angie about how he went on to tell her that he didn't want to live anymore. He felt like a stain. And now Mary starts crying. So she's like, Angie, you don't understand. Like, I prayed to have this boy. I asked God for him. And it took me 4 years to get pregnant. I always wanted to be pregnant. So she goes on to say, what did I do? What did I miss? Was I not paying attention at some point? Because how did he not want to live? So Mary goes on to ask herself, where did I not secure him where that he knows his worth? So now, I love how Angie was this was a true gentle moment. This was true friendship right here. Angie says, you can't blame yourself. This could have happened to anybody. And Mary says, well, it happened to me. And Mary, I said this before in that last recap, you can't blame yourself. You really can't. And a lot of you guys as parents have told me that you can parent your kid the best that you can. You can love on them and encourage them, and they're still going to make their own decisions. You cannot blame yourself. And to any parent out there, like, I know this might not mean a whole lot coming from me. I don't have kids, but I really hope that if you are going through something similar, please do not blame yourself, especially if you've been a great parent and you can lay your head down at night knowing that you've done all you can. You cannot blame yourself for this. I love how Angie said, girl, you can't blame yourself. Like, this is not your fault. You did your best. He knows that you that you loved him. I do want to add, because I saw some folks on social media saying, I'm so surprised that this happened. When you think about it, I was trying to think in my head how he might feel that way. Think about, Utah is majority all white, all Mormon, right? Robert Sr. is Black, Christian. His mother and father are both pastors. Feeling, maybe he felt like an outcast if he's the only Black person in his school, because I know that Mary sent him to private schools. So already living in Utah. And then let's think about how, the backlash or the gossip about his parents, how they got together, his mom marrying her step-grandfather. I'm sure that there might have been layers to that. Maybe, hopefully kids weren't teasing him. We just don't know. But, my heart goes out to him. I have a lot of empathy and sympathy, but, we don't know. Maybe being Black in Utah could have played something into that. And that's not Mary's fault. You know what I'm saying? It's hard not to blame yourself. I have 23-year-olds. You have to learn to transition as a parent. I don't care how close we are. Don't come empty-handed. The relationship with his mom is weird, so I'm sure he got picked on too. Yeah, I thought about that. The fact that Robert spoke so freely to her just shows how great of a parent she is. She did her best. Yes, that's what I said, because the fact that he felt open, he didn't hide anything. He gave it to her straight. He didn't pussyfoot around anything. He told her, Mom, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. I felt like this. That's why I did that. So that obviously means that they've always had great communication. So Mary cannot beat herself up. As a pastor's kid, we are often neglected. Our parents are serving others and we tend to fend for ourselves and are judged for it brutally. Wow. I absolutely agree. Based on the timeline, it started when she started the show. Yeah, because he was 16, 17 when she started the show, and it's been 5 years, and now he's 21. Yeah, you're right. It did. So I feel like maybe the show had something to do with it. All the backlash and all the gossip around how they got together, people making fun of that. Think about how they were saying that the dad, Robert Sr., was a predator. Remember that season when Whitney was putting that out there? So I think that could have taken a toll on him. Kids, maybe if they're making fun of him, he's not in the cool crowd, or, already feeling like an outsider because you're the only Black person, you're the only chocolate chip in the cookie. And a lot of Black people can relate to that. If you grew up well-to-do or an affluent or in a very well-to-do area, if you went to a private school, you were the only one in the group. You were in a school of a few thousand and there were only maybe 5 Black kids in the school. So that takes a toll on you. Yeah, Mary should not. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. Yes, it's sad, but you're right. Good parents should not blame themselves. This is time for Mary to heal of self and save her son. Having parents that play roles in religion causes emotional issues. Now, I've heard that from a lot of pastors' kids who have said the same thing. They've said similar things to what you guys are saying. I can relate. It's very difficult. I'm really sorry to hear that. I was raised in a Christian household, and I understand that feeling that you are judged for everything that you say or do. I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, and yes, per Mary, there's no extended family. So now Angie is, she's still consoling and comforting Mary. And now Angie says, you just can't put that on yourself because addiction is real. It's a disease. And I had to tell myself that when it comes to my mother. We all know that Angie shared with us a few episodes ago that her mother struggled with alcoholism. Her mother passed away when she was a young girl. She was, I think, 7 years old. And then we find out from her dad that her mom felt overwhelmed having 7 children. And we remember how Angie shared that she struggled with forgiveness when it comes to her mother because of what her mom suffered from. So Mary says, but it's just hard when you feel like you failed as a parent. There's nothing you can do. Here's where I lost it. When Mary went on to say that I don't have help, I don't have a mom or a grandmother I can call and ask for help. When Mary said that, I had tears coming down my eyes because the pain in her voice when she said that. Also, when Mary had said before, she said, I always said that I was going to be the mom who knew who my kid was because my mom did not know me. My mom did not know about me or my brothers or sisters. She was all about herself. Now, Mary has hinted about this in quite a few of the episodes so far. She has made mention of how her mom would leave them with no groceries to eat in the house. Her mom was self-centered. It was all about her. Her mom was chasing the next man. Her mom was a neglectful mother. I am curious to know. We know that Mary has 5 siblings. Was she the youngest or was she in the middle? Do we know where she ranks in the birth order? Is Mary not close to her siblings? Because I think, that would benefit her if she could call one of them up. I'm curious about that, but I just feel really bad to know that Mary's mom, I believe, is still alive and there is no relationship whatsoever. And I'm curious to know, what does her mom think about this? Does her mom feel any guilt? Does her mom want to repair the relationship? Has her mom apologized to her about being a deadbeat mother? It's just a lot, but I feel sorry that Mary has nobody to call. And you felt that pain in her chest because that has to be tough. You're raising your son with a man who is 30 years older than you, who happened to be your step-grandfather. That's already a mind, in itself. Then on top of that, you've fallen out with your mother. Are your siblings around? It's just, that has to be hard. It sounds like Mary has no communication with those other people in her life. She seems traumatized. Mom was in the blogs about 3 years ago. Her mom resents her for marrying Robert Sr. Her mom was supposed to marry him instead. Oh my gosh. I doubt she would even acknowledge it. I understand Mary wanting to be a real mom due to her childhood. My mom wasn't close with my grandmother, but she loved us and gave us love for real. I think they were upset when she married her step-grandfather. What happened to her cousin Sherlinda? Oh my gosh, yes, her cousin Sherlinda was working for her as a housekeeper. No, she did an interview and she said that, I could have sworn I saw that Mary said that she and Sherlinda no longer talk because Sherlinda is jealous of her. That's what she said. As someone who doesn't have anything to do with a parent, we don't just stop talking to a parent for no reason. What about the people in her church? Yeah, that's true. It's about the inheritance from her grandmother. Damn, I feel really bad that Mary is just she's going through all this by herself. Why can't she lean on her husband? Well, I don't know. I mean, we don't know if Rob Sr. is there. All we know is that Rob Sr., well, Mary said that he is around and that he did talk to Robert Jr. because Rob Sr. also dealt with addiction and drug issues as well. So apparently, according to Mary, her husband is around Rob Sr. So I'm going off of what she's saying. But she's saying that we're not seeing him this season due to him being angry at production for making him look bad. A young man needs his father. Money will make folks act crazy. Oh, absolutely. Her church closed back in 2022. Oh, I didn't know that. I feel they were jealous of her marrying her husband. But that's a little bit wild. You're jealous of your sibling marrying a step grandfather. Let's think about how crazy that is. Yes, that's what I saw. I saw a clip from Up and Adam. He interviewed Mary's mom a few years ago. Thank you for that reminder. Thank you for that. Watch What Happens Live. She said he's around and helping. She's just saying she doesn't have a village. Okay. She said her church is under renovation. Okay. Well, yeah, I really hope that you know what? I'm just happy that Mary has somebody to talk to. I'm happy that she has Angie. So Mary goes on to say that despite it all, she will do whatever she has to do to get help for her son. So now she changes topics and she's like, okay, so what about Mexico? She goes on to say that I want to make sure that Rob Jr. is good and my family is good before I come to Mexico. And now Mary says, and Angie, I'm confiding in you. This does not leave this house. This is between you and I. Here's how I know that Angie is a real one, because the concern and the fear in her eyes, if she should cross Mary, flash before her face. And I said, Angie might be messy. She might be thirsty at times, but she knows better than to go back and run and tell these other women about what Mary just told her about her son. So I said, girl, I know that's right. I said, Angie, you know how to play the TV game, but you know when there's a time, you know time and place. And you know that Mary is not the one, and you will be iced out forever if you betray her trust. So I said, girl, I'm happy that you're keeping it quiet. So Angie says, of course, this is between you and I. And now they do a pinky swear, a pinky promise, and they're good. But I just love that. That was a very touching scene. These are two friends. These are not just two cast members. They are actually in each other's lives for real. And I like that. And it's nice to see Mary come full circle. We're seeing her humanity. We're seeing her share, be vulnerable, let her guard down. She actually has an ally on this show. Chef's kiss. You could say what you want about Miss Mary Martha Cosby, but she is taking it this season. Yes, Angie was terrified. She was. I trust that Angie won't tell the other ladies. Oh, yeah, she was deathly afraid. I saw a recent picture of Angie and Mary. They are hanging out even after the reunion. They are still good friends. I'm so happy to hear that. But you know what though? Sometimes you have to let people know, please don't play with me, because this will look, I will knock all this, you know what, over. I am not the one right now. I don't want to hear it. You've ever had somebody just yank you and say, listen, I know we might have a cute key and gossip, but I'm telling you right now, if this gets out, it's going to be you and I. And you know that you better not say a word. You can't even tell your mom. You won't even put it in a journal. Like, we all have those. We've all been there where it's like, okay, listen, I know that we gossip, and I know that if I tell you something, you might go and tell your mama or your friend or, your husband or whatever. But when I'm this better stay between you, me, and the good Lord. I don't want to hear that you told nobody. You have to let them know, okay? I feel Mary's like a mother figure to Angie. Yes. I get that too. Especially with my kids. Yup. Angie don't play about family either. Now that's the truth. Yup. You got to let folks know. My friends never had to tell me that, because I don't repeat anything to anybody. I don't even talk about myself to many people. Smart. Yes, Sean won't even know about this. Exactly. Listen, that was one of those conversations where you said, I don't want to hear it. You don't tell a soul. Not your daughter, not your cat, not your dog. This is strictly between us. Yes, I saw the reunion seating. Angie and Lisa are first chair. Angie earned her spot, and Miss Angie earned her seat next to Mr. Andy Cohen. They're both only child mothers. Yes, they are. And they both have a connection with they have like mother wounds. Um, Angie's mom was suffering from addiction and then passed away when she was a little girl, 7 or 8. Then Mary's mom was neglectful, a deadbeat. So they have a lot in common. Oh, hey, we have France in here. I know that's right. Hey, come on in. Yes, Mary put the fear of God in Angie. Yes. Mary should have been first seat, in my opinion. Mary was what? She was second seat, though, right? Wasn't she? Mary was second seat, if I saw correctly. But either way, though, listen, just know first seat, second seat, third seat, one thing's for certain, Mary's place is solidified on this show. Mary will be back for seasons to come. Oh, she was third seat. Okay, thank you. This is Lisa's first time in the first chair. Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought Lisa's been first chair before. No? Well, anyhow, we now cut to everybody packing for the trip. And now 3 days later, everybody's at the airport. So mind you, Heather says that she's excited for this trip because she's pretty good with everybody, no bones to pick. And it seems like everybody's on their best behavior. So we see as they're rolling their luggage through TSA, Angie's talking about, oh, Brittany, I love your hair. It looks great today. I said, baby, you just told this woman that her hair was fried and looked a hot mess. And you said that it was giving high body count hair and that she looked cheap. Now, all of a sudden, her hair looks good. Oh, my gosh. So Heather says that you would never know that Brittany and Angie can't stand each other. Meredith and Angie can't stand each other. Lisa and Whitney also hate each other, but it's going to be a great trip. So we now see Bronwyn handing out gifts to everybody. Now, that's a sweet gesture, but I was a bit confused because I was like, wait, isn't this Lisa's trip? Why are you handing out gifts to everybody when you're not the host of this trip? That is a bit strange. Now, listen, I love a good gift like everybody else. And that was a cute gift. Those were Judith Lieber passport covers. And Judith Lieber is very high end. She's in Bergdorf's, iconic. And the passport covers were $595 each. Okay. Yes, I did look up the prices because that's just how I am. Okay. But the passport holders are cute. But Lisa's a bit annoyed. Lisa's like, that's really weird because what is she doing? But we do see that a few days before the trip, Bronwyn did call up Lisa asking about bringing gifts for everybody. Lisa says, no, you don't have to do that. It's my trip. I got that covered. Just come. And so Lisa says, I think Bronwyn only listens to Todd, but why would she listen to me? She probably had already ordered them. I don't see anything wrong with it. Bronwyn did that to be petty. Bronwyn is something. It is kind of weird in my opinion. She should have listened to Lisa and not bring the gifts. Listen, y'all, the gift was cute. It's designer, Judith Lieber, fabulous. But if you call somebody and you ask them, can I bring gifts? And they tell you, no, I'm the hostess of this trip. Just come and enjoy yourself. I have all that figured out. You are overstepping when you decide to go along with it and just bring them anyway. If, like that, yes, you can't be mad. Who can be mad at a nice gift? But it's the principle of the thing. If you ask somebody, they said no, then just respect their wishes and don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like, what's the point? What was the point of asking Lisa if you were going to do it anyway? That's why Lisa was annoyed. Like, girl, well, you didn't have to call me and ask me if you were going to do it, do it regardless of what I said. And then it was funny because on the after show, I saw how Lisa said, oh, yeah, they're Judith Lieber, but my passport cover is Louis Vuitton. And I said, now, the Louis Vuitton passport cover is less than the Judith Ripka one, because not Judith Ripka, Judith Lieber. Judith Lieber passport cover is like $600, and the Louis Vuitton passport cover is $350 or $400. But it doesn't really matter about the price. That's not the point. The point is that Lisa was perturbed about her bringing the gifts when she told her no. No idea why she brought gifts for a trip she didn't host. Yes. She probably had bought the gift before even asking Lisa. Well, you know what I'm saying? That's fine and all, but give that to them as a gift the next time you see them, the next time you host a party. In my opinion, Lisa is so corny. Lisa is so new money. Yes, she is. She is very new money. We know what to get you now, Brooke. I'm screaming. Kissing up to the other ladies. I don't think Bronwyn thought Lisa would say no. Well, I mean, Lisa did say no on the phone. She said, don't bring anything. Don't worry about that. That's on me. Probably trying to butter up the ladies. I thought it was cute. Listen, it's a nice gesture. I wouldn't read more into it. It's not that deep. But going forward, if somebody tells me, please don't do that for a trip that they're hosting, I don't want to overstep, right? I don't want to piss the host off. She was understandably annoyed, but she felt threatened. Yes, I could see both. Yes, Lisa is very gauche, very gauche. She definitely bought them before she asked. Bronwyn had been showing her butt and was trying to kiss up. Yes, Bronwyn could have given the gifts another time. I agree. Yes, Bronwyn likes to peacock a bit. It's not that deep, but it's rude. If you ask, respect the answer. Thank you. Exactly. If you ask, that's right. That was disrespectful to ask and then still do what you want. Exactly. So now Lisa goes on to ask Bronwyn how she's doing, how she's feeling. And we find out that Bronwyn isn't feeling well. So I'm thinking that she's about to say she had a cold. Baby, when I tell you that what came out of Bronwyn's mouth next blew my edges back. We find out the other day, Bronwyn took one of her dogs to the dog park. And mind you, Bronwyn has 6 dogs. She says someone's dog was unattended and the owner was in the car on a phone call. The dog bit her behind on her calf. And then when she leaned forward, the dog bit her again on her arm. When that camera panned to her calf and her arm, that dog tore her up. Well, I'm going to be really careful and choosy about my words. God bless people who have pets. This is for the pet owners, because I'm sorry, but this pet culture has gotten a bit out of control. It feels like a lot of pet owners are, I don't want to say all, it feels like some, let me say some pet owners seem to be very inconsiderate, rude, and just borderline obnoxious when it comes to their pets. If you have a pet and you guys are out in public, please keep an eye on your pet. Do not leave your pet unattended. I would have torn everybody up. Had that happened to me, I would have sued. I'm trying not to go there. I'm trying not to. You can just imagine what I'm thinking. I would have raised such hell. I would have raised such hell if that had happened to me. I was shocked, y'all. They showed those bruises on her. She had to go to the hospital. She was in a sling. Then she said that she had to get stitches. She's not feeling well. I said, girl, of course you're not feeling well. You almost got ate up. Like you got ate up. Baby, I would listen. That dog would have been turned every which way but loose. Thank you for saying it. Thank you for saying it for me. That's exactly where I was going with that. That's exactly where I was going with that. Everybody is not a pet lover. You love your pet and that's fine, but please be respectful of other people. If you have pets when you have guests over and you have pets, you need to ask your guests, do you guys like pets? Are you afraid of dogs? Everybody's not so warm to animals. Like I'm so sorry. Please, like, put your dog in another room. Like, everybody does not want your dog breathing on them, and like, nobody wants to deal with that. And people say, oh, my dog is so friendly, and then the dog bites you, or the cat bites you. It's like, are you kidding me? And now you want to be mad at me because I want to sue you and knock you and the pet out. Yes, I immediately thought about, that's an infection. She could have died. The way that dog attacked her, Bronwyn could have died. Y'all, I said, baby, I would have. Listen, y'all, it would have been some slow singing and flower bringing had that dog done that to me. Baby, child, I can't stand when people say that he's trained. Listen, I don't give an F either. Exactly. Oh my gosh, Todd ain't ish for his response to Bronwyn telling him she's in the ER. Yes. Listen, we're on the same page. When I go to my sister's home, she puts her pit bull away. But when I tell y'all, that's why when, certain people that I know have pets, especially if their pets are, they have big dogs and all that. And I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm afraid of dogs, but I'm just a little bit cautious. We'll say cautious. A lot of times people who have pets, I don't have to go to your house. Let's go to a restaurant. Let's go out to a lounge or a bar or a club. I don't need to go to your home. It's no shade, because I know that some people, they don't care. They want their pet to run loose. And I'm telling you right now, if something happens to me, it's going to be hell to pay. So let me do you and your pet and you a favor, and let's meet in public. Because if I go to your house and your dog tears me up, we're going to have a problem. And you're going to hate me, and I'm going to. Yes, not all dogs are meant to go to a dog park. Exactly. Some dogs are psycho at the dog park. Yes. I got wait a second. Let me wait. I got a dog to keep my mother-in-law away. You ain't right. Oh, that's horrible. Oh my goodness. Well, may I just say, I don't know if you guys know, but a few months ago, well, I don't know if you guys know, Bronwyn and Todd are being sued right now for over 300 grand. Did you guys know that one of their dogs attacked a mailman and an Instacart delivery driver, and now they're suing both Bronwyn and Todd? Now, Bronwyn, hate that this happened to you, but you need to pay up if your dogs attack this mailman and Instacart delivery person. That's ridiculous. A hot mess. I'll post the link. I'll post the article down below. But yeah, Todd and Bronwyn are being sued right now because their dogs attacked the delivery driver. It's horrible. Yeah, guys, if you're a pet owner, God bless all the pet owners who are responsible and they are considerate of other people who don't really, aren't pet owners or are afraid of dogs. I appreciate that. But for the ones who are very obnoxious and don't care, it's got to stop. Because people can die from that. An animal biting you, you can die from that. Hey, Cece, thank you for the super chat. I hope Bronwyn is suing that dog owner under the ground, under the earth's mantle. Get that settlement with that Bravo check and escape Ebenezer Scrooge. Not Ebenezer. Oh my goodness. But yes, listen, y'all. And did you guys see on Watch What Happens Live, Heather said that when Heather went to Bronwyn's house and Brown was joking about all the dog, on the floor. and Heather was disgusted. We were disgusted too. But Heather said that there was more that we didn't even see. She said every few steps there was a whole bunch. I'm like, Bronwyn, if you can't manage all these pets, then I don't know why you have all these pets in the house. One pet I can imagine is already enough, but you have 6 dogs? And Bronwyn, you have too much money to have all that. That's disgusting. Just a mess. Oh my gosh. Do you think her own dog attacked her? No. I think it was somebody else. I mean, I wanted to share a story with you guys. It's not in this, I mean, it's like in the same vein about, dogs, but it's nobody bit anybody, but I'll be really quick. I know these are 2 friends, person A and person B, right? So person A has a dog. Person B went over to person A's house with food. Person B brought food for both, him and person A, right? Mind you, I know both of these people involved in the story. So they're eating the food, enjoying themselves, and person B he got like Mexican food, like tacos, burritos, chips, salsa, all that. The dog, person A's dog, is jumping around and just, running around wild. Well, wouldn't you know it, the dog jumps up and eats all of person B's food. Person B is furious. He's screaming. They get into a shouting match about it because he feels like person A needs to reimburse him and pay him for the food that he brought over for both of them to eat, because their person A's dog ate the food, his food, right? So they, I heard about what happened, and I mean, person A, they're not speaking. One person A feels like they shouldn't have to reimburse for the food because that's not their issue, that their dog ate the food. And the person B feels like, well, that's your dog. Why would you have your dog running around, doing all this? And I'm on person B's side. I feel like person B should be reimbursed for the money for the food, because how dare you? You had your dog running wild. They eat all the food. And now you're like, so I'm on person B's side. But yeah, that's why I'm not a big fan of going to people's houses who have pets, because it's always a mess. We'd have to fight. Yes, I would be seething. Yes. So I just thought I would share that story. We would no longer be friends because what the F? Yes. Okay. Person A needs to get it together. Yes. Now, person A, if you're watching and you feel a type of way about this, I didn't, listen, I told you to your face that you were wrong and you should reimburse, because that's not right that your dog ate all the food. A mess. Yes, person B is right. Yes, if your kid broke something, you'd pay for it. If your kid does the same thing, exactly. That's why people say having pets is similar to having kids, because of many responsibilities that come with having them. Person A is wrong. Train your damn dog. Yes. Take person B to eat and apologize. I'm on person B's side. Get y'all damn animals. Yes. I'm on your side, same side too. I just wanted to share that story. I need to know that I wasn't going crazy. But yeah, there would have been a lot of hell to pay if I bring food over and, your dog eats it all. We would be ex-friends. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're watching, but if they are, I already told you. I told you to your face. I said, you're wrong for this. And if this had happened to me, we would never be friends again. So they know where I stand with it. But person A, if you are watching, you see that all my subscribers are saying you need to get together and you need to reimburse person B for their money back and train your dog. So moving off of that, they get on the plane and they arrive in Mexico. We are in Puerto Vallarta. They are greeted with margaritas. They get on the Sprinter van. And when they were on their way to the hotel, Lisa, Heather, and I think Meredith were in the same van together. And Lisa remarks how when she had to use the restroom on the plane, there was all over the seat. And Heather's like, oh yeah, that was me, because it was bad turbulence. And I said, Heather, you're a grown ass woman. And you think that it's acceptable to leave a public toilet seat like that? What's like, I just don't understand it. Like, do you not care? Like, there's just no consideration anymore. I could never go to a public restroom and just leave it any old way. That's just, it's like, who raised y'all in a barn? Like, what is going on? Yes, very trifling. Very trifling. I think she was joking, but still. But don't joke like that. That's not funny. Don't even let anybody think that you're dirty or what. You know what I'm saying? Like, have some pride. So now we get to, so Lisa says that she made a PowerPoint for the whole trip, and she says that she wants everything to be perfect. She knows she wants, she has covered everything, and that the note section on the iPhone has nothing on her. Now, I love it because Lisa actually dropped her whole PowerPoint on Twitter and Instagram. I was screaming. I said, I know that's right. The hotel is stunning. They are greeted with champagne. They have the concierge showing them their room, the villas. They have a butler. It's 2 villas, an infinity pool, and there are 4 bedrooms in each villa. So we find out that the villas are identical and they're right next door to each other. So now Lisa says, okay, guys, I'm going to split us up. Villa 1 is me, Heather, Lisa, her, Heather, Meredith, and Brittany. And then Villa 2 is Angie, Whitney, Mary, and Bronwyn. So she says the dynamics in this group aren't great. So that's why she chose who, where to put who in each villa. Now, Lisa did nothing wrong, in my opinion, because the way the group is so divided, she was right. Bronwyn is on the outs with, Bronwyn and Heather don't really see eye to eye. Brittany's not good with Bronwyn, Mary, or Angie. Meredith and Angie don't like each other. So yeah, I feel like the way she split up the group into Villa 1 and Villa 2, she was right. Lisa did nothing wrong, in my opinion, with how she split the group up. So now we see, so the only person who's angry is Bronwyn. So Bronwyn's talking about, I'm furious right now because Lisa's my closest friend in this group, and I know when she's sending me a message and she's putting me in my place. Bronwyn, baby, and girl, I have been singing your praises since day one. But Miss Bronwyn, are you all right? Because Miss Mamas, you and Lisa have been on a really rocky road for quite some time. The way the dynamics in the group are, it wouldn't make sense for Brittany to be in that villa with people who don't like her. That's not going to be fun for her. Angie called her a slut or said that she had a high body count, hair, high body count, this, high body count, that. So that wouldn't work for Brittany to be there. You and Lisa's friendship is kind of been on the rocks. You and Heather are not cool like that. You and Meredith aren't really cool like that either, girl. So I'm like, why would you expect to be in the first villa with Lisa? At the end of the day, Bronwyn, you're on the outs with with more than half the group. You're on the outs with Brittany. You're on the outs with Angie and Whitney. Things are, so I'm like, I don't know, what did you expect? Lisa has groupies, not friends. I think Bronwyn's extra sensitive because she worries Lisa really isn't her friend. I don't think it was about the villa assignments at all. Oh, that's a great point. I'm glad you said it because Bronwyn made no sense with her logic regarding the villa situation. Yes, Bronwyn was whining. She was doing too much for me. I hate to admit it, but Heather low-key rattled Bronwyn, and that's why she's acting out. I think the dog bites, damn. Lisa hosting the trip is all about her putting, Bronwyn Newport in her place regarding the Palm Springs trip. I think Heather should have been in the villa with Whitney and Angie, to be honest. It doesn't make sense for Lisa and Heather being all clicked up like this. Well, you make a good point, but Heather and Lisa have now been new BFFs since this season. And also, we would have had to deal with a Heather meltdown had Heather been in another villa. I did not want, did you want to hear Heather whining for 40 days and 40 nights about how she wasn't in the cool girl villa? And quick side note, oh yes, thank you for saying this. Let me, DM Rocks, thank you for the super chat. Hey, on the after show, Bronwyn said, Heather said Bronwyn was jealous. She was not in the room with the popular girls and with the losers. Yes, I saw that. And Heather took it a step further. Heather said, we were the bombshells. I said, oh, okay, Heather. I said, oh, all right, girl. It's giving very much Love Island bombshells. I said, all right, wow. Heather is definitely the epitome of the nerdy girl in school who was overlooked, and now she finally feels cool now, and she's finally accepted now in her 40s, and now she wants to lash out and treat people the way she felt how she was treated when she was younger. Just a mean girl at her big age, but a mess. Heather shouldn't talk. Heather is childish and still a high school girl. Grow up. Heather is the biggest loser. Yep. Baby, she said she's a bombshell, honey. She said that they were the Villa 1 was the bombshells. Child. Oh, y'all are shading in this chat, honey. Heather has her place up Lisa's butt and she has no intentions to leave. Y'all said, girl, stop. She's in her 50s. So now they're off. We see Villa 2 with Angie, Whitney, Bronwyn. And remember, Mary's not there yet. She's coming later. We're going to see her in the next episode. But Whitney and Angie are unpacking and they're talking about the room assignments. So Angie's like, what do you think about these teams? And Whitney says, oh, it's very interesting because how did Bronwyn get kicked out of the Cool Girls Club? So Angie says, well, girl, I can see why they don't want her over there. So now Bronwyn walks into their room and she's like, hey, what are you guys wearing for dinner later on tonight? And it's a bit awkward because we know that Bronwyn, Angie, and Whitney don't get along. They don't want anything to do with Bronwyn after how she threw them under the bus during camp day. So Whitney's like, we just want to know, how did you get kicked out of the Cool Girls Club? And I feel like it's the Mean Girls Club. So Bronwyn's like, yeah, I don't know what I've done to Lisa. She knows that I was attacked by a dog. I don't feel well. And going through all this stuff with my daughter, Gwen, is weighing on me. So I don't understand why she did that. So now we do see a clip of Bronwyn, I guess a week ago, Bronwyn went out to lunch with Lisa and John. And we know that John Barlow, Lisa's husband, was adopted. And they're telling the story of how when he met his birth mother and how things did not go the way that they had planned. And if he could do it over again, he wouldn't have done it. So now we flip right on back. And Whitney says, Bronwyn was so quick to throw me and Angie under the bus. And now to see her throw us under the bus to get into Lisa and Heather's good graces, but look where that got you, stuck with us, and we're actually your friends. So Bronwyn goes on to say that she feels really weird, and she says, I just don't understand how Lisa, Brittany, and Heather are now BFFs, like they got BFF tattoos together, like what's going on? I said, Bronwyn, and I said this in the last recap, I want Bronwyn to just take a beat, take a breath, and relax. Bronwyn is trying to be best friends, I feel like, with everybody. And, she's telling this person one thing. And, to Bronwyn's credit, she is direct. If you do call her out on what she said, she will tell you, she won't lie about it. But I just feel like, Bronwyn, you should not have opened your mouth in that car on the way to camp day. You should not have told Lisa or Meredith anything about what Angie and Whitney were talking about. You really stuck your foot in your mouth with that. Like, just learn how to, play it cool. Sometimes it's best to just keep your cards close to the vest versus blurting everything out. I think that Bronwyn is doing too much too soon. Does that make sense? Hey, DM Rocks, thank you for the super chat. Bravo needs to break up the mean girl Heather, Lisa, and Meredith trio up. Well, I don't think that that's going to happen anytime soon. I think that Bravo's going to reward them. They like the fact that it's bringing in the fans. It is giving us a good season. And I think that Heather will do anything to be in their good graces. So I don't know. I don't see that trio leaving or breaking up anytime soon. She wasn't smart with that move. Yes, coming in too hot. Bronwyn is doing too much. It's self-sabotage at this point. She needs to take it down a notch. Yes, we're on the same page. It's her first season. She'll learn. You're right. You're right. Bronwyn's starting to get real rude now. Some things are better left unsaid. Yes, it's so true, y'all. Bronwyn can be a mean girl herself. Karma. When was the last time Brooke talked about Whitney? I'll wait. Oh my gosh. So now, you know what? Since we talked about, you mentioned Whitney, do you guys feel like Whitney could be demoted? Because I do feel like Whitney has been coasting for quite some time. And maybe this is contradictory, but at the same time, this cast is perfect. Like, SLC is really doing it. So I feel like dynamics would still be the same if Whitney left or got demoted, or if she stayed. Like, we don't need her. She's like a sprinkle of parsley or cilantro. Like, you don't need it, but does that make sense? Like, you could I don't know. I mean, no, I love cilantro, so no, I need cilantro on my dishes. Okay, but she's like a parsley. Like, if I get some parsley, that's cool. If I don't have parsley, I'm not going to miss it. If that makes sense. She's a garnish. Yeah. They can demote Whit. She's not needed at all. Whitney can go. There are recent blind items that Whitney might be divorcing Justin. So that's why she might stay. Oh, really? I thought they were back. I thought they were great again. I thought that they had, moved past that hump in their marriage. I thought they were fine. Slightly wilted, but yes. Whitney and Meredith can be friends of. Yeah, she's quiet this season. Her husband's doing more than her. Clock in, Justin. She can definitely go. Whitney could take a friend of spot, and Heather might have another season of not having a storyline. Brittany could have been full-time, and Whitney as a friend of, not a garnish. We need to stop asking for cast shakeups. That's what kills the shows. You know what? You're right. We need to all shut up and just be happy, because you know what? Listen, in all seriousness, I know we talk about this person is coasting, but honestly, SLC is eating right now. They are a 10 out of 10. Perfect. I don't have any notes to add. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's wait until season 7 or 8 to talk about demoting and firing, right? I think that's fair. I think that's when things get a bit stale, season 7, season 8. But you know what? You're right. We need to all shut up and just be happy, because if they do demote people, then things change or they get worse. Then we're all going to be crying about that. So let's just be happy, be appreciative, be grateful, and be quiet. So you're right. You're correct. Their perfection. We don't need to. You're right. The cast is gold. Leave it alone. Don't bring Monica back. That's all I ask. Don't bring Monica back. You're right. The thing is, when they clock in, they clocks in. You're right. You're correct. No, you're right, y'all. When y'all are right, you are right. So I'm not going to complain. This has been a stellar season. Let's keep it as it is. Yes, not as sitting here and eating our food. No, sometimes we have to all shut our mouths and just stop. And that includes myself too. So let me just stop. The cast is great. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving this season. So, because if they do fire somebody, then y'all are going to be saying, Brooke, you're sitting up there talking about that, and you're never happy, you're never satisfied. So you're right. You're right. You're correct. So now we see, okay, so now we get to Lisa and Meredith. Oh, no. Bronwyn is saying that she's known Lisa for almost 10 years. And ever since she introduced her to this group, their friendship has now been a hit or a miss. She says that she doesn't feel super close anymore, even though Lisa insists that they are close. So now we flash to Meredith and Lisa are talking in their villa. So Lisa's like, I'm so happy to be here. And I love Puerto Vallarta. It's my favorite state in Mexico because this is where Vita's made, Vita tequila. So now Meredith is asking her, how does she feel about everybody here? And Lisa says, Bronwyn, with the whole gift situation, she had called me up and asked me. And I was like, you don't do that. I have the gifts under control. And she brought them anyway. Why are you bringing gifts? And it's not your trip. It's my trip. So Lisa says that she's starting to feel annoyed by Bronwyn. And I get it, because why ask me? I tell you, don't bring anything. That's on me. It's my trip. You just come and enjoy yourself. And then you go ahead and bring the gifts anyway. I would be annoyed. I'm not going to hold you. I love a good gift. The gift was expensive, but please, it's my trip. Let me be the hostess and, let me take it from here. Okay. So I would be a bit annoyed. So, did anybody catch how Lisa imitated Bronwyn? She sounded just like her. I was like, oh, girl. I was like, okay, let me find out that Lisa knows how to imitate somebody. But that was really funny. So now Lisa goes on to ask Meredith, how does she feel about Angie on the trip? And Meredith says she says so many mean things to people. She slut shames, tears down people's businesses, talks about disabilities. And now Lisa says she better be on her best behavior. So now we see them all getting ready for dinner. And while Meredith is getting glammed up, their butler, Rudy, comes into her room. And she says, hi, Rudy. Do you see that bag on the bed? Can you please put that on the dinner table? Because that's a gift for somebody. Child, we find out that Meredith is about to give the gift back that Angie brought her to her bat mitzvah. I said, Meredith, you just want to fight. You just want a fight. So now we see a flashback from like a week ago where Meredith is showing her kids, they're looking at the gift, and we see that Angie had bought Meredith these real, Kerastase shampoo and conditioner. We all know that Angie owns 10 hair salons, and she got her those salon-size Kerastase bottles. Now, Angie said on the after show that those bottles were $200 each, and I believe it. Kerastase is already very high-end, and to get a salon size, if I have any hairstyles in the chat, please holla at me, let me know. Listen, Kerastase is pricey. They're not a cheap brand, so that's a nice gift. That was like $400 in product. So, and by the way, I think it's so funny that Kerastase has been mentioned twice in a row. You have Lisa talking about, oh, you need Kerastase to Brittany about her brittle hair. Now you have Angie giving Meredith Kerastase products. I said, girl, I know that's right. I said, the brand promo, chef's kiss. And somebody told me that Brittany already landed a Kerastase deal. Is that true? I was like, well, let's talk about turning lemons into lemonade. I know that's right. They halted Brittany. I'm glad that Brittany could get the shampoo. Meredith needs to grow up. That's her ignorance. So Meredith goes on to say that she's giving the gift back because Angie knows that she can't use that shampoo because she has keratin in her hair and she needs a sulfate-free shampoo. Meredith, girl, you're never going to beat the allegations that you just want to pick a fight with somebody, because how would Angie know that? Every time you and Angie are around each other, it turns into a fight. So Angie can barely say 2 words before you storm out and stop talking to her. How would she know that you can't use that you need a sulfate-free shampoo and conditioner? And also, Meredith, we'll talk about this later, but giving a gift back, that's the ultimate insult. If you don't like the gift that somebody got you, either throw it out or re-gift it to somebody. Just do that. But giving it back, that's a slap in the face. Listen, there are people who've given me gifts and we no longer talk or whatever, but I didn't give the gift back. I threw it out, or I gave it to somebody else, or I kept the gift, especially if the gift was expensive and nice. Like, I'll keep it. I don't like you, but I'm gonna keep the gift. I'm not gonna give it back to you. Like, come on, who does that? It's tacky. And Meredith, you're all about manners and you pride yourself on being a sophisticated woman. That was very gauche of you to do that. I said, okay. Meredith seems so whiny. Yes. The ultimate gag is to keep it and tag her when you use it. Exactly. She's reaching. When Meredith said the shampoo isn't sulfate free, I want to jump through my TV. Exactly. Give it to me, Mayor. I want it. She wanted a Lisa Rinna versus Kim moment. Yes, when Kim gave Lisa Rinna back the bunny in season 7, I remember that. That was so tacky. I would have given it to a friend. Yeah, child. Meredith should go. Meredith is probably washing her hair with Dove. I'm genuinely concerned about Meredith. Like, is she okay? Something is so off about her. That was unacceptable, Meredith. Re-gift. Yes, I do. I feel the same way too. It does feel like she needs excuses to come for her because that's ridiculous. I mean, listen, you said you can't use a sulfate shampoo either. I mean, listen, I understand that, but you're not going to give the gift back. Goodness. So now we are off to, we're starting off the night with poolside cocktails and then a beautiful dinner. So they get in the golf carts. Now, Lisa, you know that you're in a golf cart, right? When you asked the driver to turn the AC on, they were all like, girl, what? So they're at the pool, they're at the bar by the pool, and it was cute. The bartender already had the Vita margaritas waiting for them. They look really good. I love a margarita too. I love tequila. And did you know that tequila is actually the healthiest alcohol? So I said, look at that. I'm with the winning team. Your daughter needs it. She's obviously not a natural blonde. Oh, yeah, give it to Chloe. So now they're drinking and Brittany's like, she has an announcement. They're like, oh Lord, what is it now? Because every announcement is always about that man who does not want her, Jared Osmond. So Lisa's like, girl, we do not want to hear any more announcements. It's always something. So Brittany tells them that she's like, you guys know that I've been struggling with my daughters. We all know that her daughters don't talk to her because she puts men before her kids. She's pretty much a deadbeat mother who is too obsessed with men, just a mess. So she says that her youngest daughter, Olivia, and her have made progress. Her daughter, Olivia, came over with her friends one night, spent the night, and she says, it's a really big deal. So she's like, the fact that my daughters, we've been estranged and now they want to talk to me, for nobody to say anything about that is, I feel bad. The way they all stared at Brittany, like, girl, welcome to being a mom. That's what being a mom is. Your kids are with you and you talk to them. Nobody was moved by this announcement. They were just kind of like, well, girl, it's about time. Like, you want us to applaud because a fish is swimming? Like, what are we saying here? Yeah, they were like, congrats on being a mother. Yes. Just a mess. But yeah, one of her daughters is talking to her. So now they sit down to drink their cocktails and Lisa's like, so do you guys like the villa? Do you guys like your suites? And they're like, oh yeah, it's great. It's beautiful. And now Bronwyn's like, well, I'll be the contrarian here. And they're like, oh, okay. I said, Bronwyn, baby, just let this go. Just keep your mouth shut, baby. It's not going to go how you think it's about to go. Like, just stop. You've already said enough. Just be grateful and appreciative and enjoy the villa, please. So Lisa's confused and Bronwyn's like, Lisa, you and I are friends. You put me in a villa with two people who aren't speaking to me. And I said, well, Bronwyn, they're not speaking to you due to you and your big mouth. Nobody told you to run your mouth at camp day. That's on you, babe. Hold that L. You have nobody to be angry at but yourself. Nobody told you to volunteer that information that backfired on you. This did not have to happen. But again, like Whitney said, you were too busy trying to beat up Lisa and Heather's asses that it bit you in the ass in the end. and now you want to be mad at Lisa. A mess. Bronwyn is so defensive and insecure. I'm seeing it now. So now, so Lisa's like, wait, are you guys not speaking to her? And Bronwyn's like, well, they're speaking to me now because, I did talk to them about this. And so here's where things go left. So Lisa's like, I didn't think that it was going to be a problem. You guys are right next door. I don't see what the issue is. So Bronwyn's like, I'm always going to be honest. You and Brittany are newly friends. And now Brittany jumps in. And one thing about Miss Brittany Bateman, she's quick on her feet because she's like, well, maybe she likes me better now. I said, all right, Brittany. Quick side note, I definitely see Bravo promoting Brittany to full time. And despite Brittany working my last good nerve with her desperation, she does bring a certain type of delusion and dysfunction that we do need for these shows. So if she is full-time next season, I'm not mad at it. Bronwyn is giving Marlo before getting a peach. Oh, that's a good analogy. Oh, that's a good comparison. I can see that. I see that. Bronwyn always wants an issue. The first time I've ever agreed with Lisa. Bronwyn, we can see you are jealous. Oh, Brittany gagged her. She thought Lisa was her friend. I dislike Lisa, but Lisa wasn't wrong. Lisa is your close friend. Put her in first class. Baby, listen. So now, Whitney's like, so now Whitney, we see Whitney's confessional, and she says Brittany doesn't even realize that she's a pawn in Lisa's game, and she's only using her to send Bronwyn a message. So now Whitney's like, well, we usually pick our own rooms. We're not usually assigned rooms. Now, Bronwyn, you lost me right here when you were like, you're getting a little bit of bass in your voice right now. And I said, Lisa was not even talking to you with any sort of tone. And usually Lisa does go from 0 to 100 like that. But in this conversation, Lisa wasn't even being snide or sarcastic with you. She was genuinely confused. So when you said all that about, oh, you have all that bass in your voice, I said, girl, you're the one with all that bass in your voice. Bronwyn, baby, I need you to tone it down just a little bit. Just a little bit. She's getting flashbacks from Peepaw. Bronwyn is feeling herself. Bronwyn was doing a lot. So now it was giving rehearsed read, yes. Since you read Lisa for how she holds her cutlery, I can't unsee it. That would never fly in my house. My mom would have cussed me out, yes. I think Lisa was getting a little spicy, but Bronwyn was coming at her hard, too deep in her feelings, yes. So now Lisa said, Lisa's irritated. And she's like, it's just weird that anybody has an issue with the rooms. So Bronwyn says, I don't have an issue with the room. I have an issue with you and I. So now she goes on to say that I want you to hear me out and be like, let's fix it, rather than let's be effing grateful that Lisa Barlow took me on a trip. Again, Bronwyn, you jumped the gun here because during this exchange, at no point did I feel like Lisa was throwing it in your face that this was her trip. She didn't say anything about, well, you should be happy that, you're here. That wasn't the vibe. She was very confused as to why you were so upset about the room assignments. I feel like your insecurities jumped out and you're taking this a lot farther than it needs to go. Oh, you said that dog infection was coming out. Damn. Bronwyn just wants to feel a part of the OGs, but I'm like, baby, own the new stage. Yes, say this again, please. Exactly. It's like she's taking her frustration from Todd out on Lisa. Bronwyn is like that because she's always expecting the worst, since that's what her husband does. Oh, that's a good point. Oh, absolutely. She definitely watched the Black franchises before. Bronwyn is mad because she felt left out. Just say that. No, she did feel left out, but I feel like, girl, you need to hold that L though, because had you not run your mouth on camp day, you wouldn't be in this boat. You probably would have been in the first villa with Lisa and all them had you kept your mouth shut. But they're going back and forth. Bronwyn is still going on about, Lisa making her feel a type of way. And Lisa's like, I don't think I could do anything to make you feel grateful compared to the other trips that you go on. So now Bronwyn's like, oh, so I'm snobby now? You're saying that I'm a snob? I said, that's not what she said. And you know how sometimes, like, let's say if I say something that you don't agree with me on, there are times where subscribers will put words in my mouth, and I'll respond back by saying, respectfully, is that what I said, or is that what you heard? Because there's a difference. Bronwyn, at no point did she say that you were a snob. And y'all know I call Lisa out all the time. I will whack Lisa when a whacking is due. But in this case, I was like, Lisa was not saying that you were a snob. That's not what she, like, girl, you're hearing that. I've never liked Bronwyn. She seems very calculated. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they feel that way about her. I'm seeing a lot of people saying, I never liked her and I always knew this day would come. I said, child, Bronwyn be putting words in people's mouths all the time. Yes, Bron has all the tools to be the number one girl. I would never beg for Lisa Barlow's friendship. I hate people projecting their ish on me. Same here. Bronwyn studied Housewives. Yeah, she's making a moment in her eyes. Maybe Bronwyn has been feeling odd because of the meds from the dog bite. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that, she's not feeling well. That does factor into it. But I said, Bronwyn, Miss Mamas, you're reading way too much. You're reading too deeply into this. You're reading way too deeply into this. So now Bronwyn says, let's be clear about who's ungrateful about whose trip first, Lisa. It was you who bitched about my trip first. So I'm like, Bronwyn, did Lisa do the most about flying coach in Palm Springs? Yes. But right now, that's not the issue at hand. I don't know why we're bringing that back up. I love how Lisa did not even react. Yeah, Lisa was like, okay, girl, like you're reaching, you want a moment, obviously. So Bronwyn's like, oh, so Bronwyn says, well, yeah, because I didn't want to fly home coach. I don't fly coach ever. So that's what it was. So now Bronwyn's like, well, I flew commercial on this trip. And Lisa's like, girl, you flew first class here. So now Bronwyn brings up how Lisa did not spring for a private plane. And Lisa says, well, no, I didn't spring for a plane because I used that money for me and my husband to go to London this summer. That's why. Bronwyn, I'm sorry, but you lost me with this part of the argument. I don't understand why we're talking about, well, I flew commercial here. And what does it have to do with the price of tea in China right now? We're going from A to Z, back to J, back to P, back to X, back to W. Like, what are we saying? It's just, I just wanted Bronwyn to be quiet, calm down, take a sip of her drink, and just relax. Because this is like misplaced anger. If you feel left out, just say that. But to be talking about the trip prior and, I'm a snob now, I'm like, where do we go? How do we get to that? Oh, you said the base of the rift here is the battle of the wealth. Oh, Bronwyn's acting like the richest bee in the room. Bronwyn's trying to secure her spot because that marriage is on the rocks. It's being a pattern. I hope Bronwyn eases back and finds a good rhythm again. Well, she might be the richest. Those bites have Bronwyn turned up. Bronwyn doesn't take accountability for anything. Lisa is passive aggressive. Bronwyn isn't wrong for how she feels. I wouldn't address it. Oh, according to Heather's comments, Bronwyn's money might be funny. Damn. Child. She needed to let it out. Bronwyn was doing too much. I was over this part. Yes, Bronwyn needs to give up on Lisa and just let this be. It's not relatable. They are clueless. She's flexing. Oh, clock it. You can't talk to me about private planes with a nasty house. Oops. Clock it. Clock it. Very true. Because you really can't flex. No, you can't flex on me. You have dog, all over your house. I went to your house. Dog was breathing on the food, smelling like what. You could never flex or stunt on anybody. That's actually very true. Say that again, please. That's a read. That is a read. I gotta clap. I gotta clap for that. That is a read. Okay. So now, they're still going back and forth. And Bronwyn says, "You're missing the point. I'm not saying that I wanted a different room. I wanted to be with you." So Lisa's like, "You're right next door to me." And now Heather jumps in and she says, "It's not like we're together. We're all in separate rooms, just in the same villa." So now can I stop for a minute? I'm so sorry, but I can't give anybody that satisfaction of talking about, "Oh, I just want to be right next to you and I feel left out." I could never give anybody like Lisa Barlow that satisfaction of me crying about not being in the same villa as them. Bronwyn, baby, I feel like you don't know what direction you want to go in. Don't give Lisa that satisfaction. That's what she wants. She already has Heather sweating her. Heather has been gunning to be Lisa's friend since the beginning of time. Lisa gets off on that. She likes that. She loves that fan worship, okay? Don't give people like Lisa that kind of power over you where you're crying about, "Oh, well, I wanted to be next to you." Girl, stop. Yes, never show weakness. Exactly. Girl, stand up. Exactly. We are on the same page. And when y'all, I've told you guys this so many times at BravoCon, Lisa, baby, listen, y'all, the way the fans love Lisa, I can see how Lisa's head is swollen because the way the fans at BravoCon bow down to Lisa Barlow. So like the vast majority of fans have Lisa's head gassed up. Like she is like their Taylor Swift, like she's like she has all that. People already are obsessed with her. Now you have your cast members obsessed with you too. Of course her head's gonna be swollen. Like she's gonna be like, "Okay, like I really am." You know what I'm saying? Not saying that you can't be confident, but I'll put it this way. When you put people on a pedestal, you are subconsciously saying to yourself and that person that you think that they're better than you. So when folks start moving like that, you can't blame them because you've put that power in their hands by placing them above yourself. That's what Heather and all these girls don't understand. Y'all are giving Lisa all this power. Take your power back. Nobody is above you. But for some reason, you feel like this woman is above you. And that's why you have this love-hate relationship with her, because you're obsessed with her, but you want to be her. But, you're mad at her because you feel like she looks down on you. She looks down on you because you put her above you. Anybody that you put above and make an idol of, they're going to look down on you because you've put in your mind, you've put them ahead of yourself. So it's just a very wild dynamic. It's weird. It's crazy. And I want them all to stop. I need them all to find self-esteem and self-worth. So now we get so Bronwyn says this has been a long time coming. She says that Lisa has very harsh opinions about her. So now she goes on to say that she's at her breaking point. So Heather's like, "Look, girl, what can Lisa do right now to make things right between y'all?" So Whitney jumps in and she's like, "Well, what about if you just say that you're sorry to Bronwyn for making her feel that way?" So one thing about Lisa's going to do what she wants to do, how she wants to do it. So Lisa says, "I don't say things the way other people want me to say things. I say things when I'm good and ready to say it and how I want to say it." So I was so happy when the bartender interrupted them because I could not take a minute more of this argument. So now they're back. So they're walking to the table, and we have Lisa and Bronwyn still arguing. I said, Bronwyn, just let this go. Let the mouse go, in the words of Sutton Strack. So they all sit down, and Angie notices that there's a Brooks Mark bag on her seat, on her chair. So now Heather's like, why does she have a Brooks Marks bag? And we know that that's Meredith's son, Meredith and Seth's son, Brooks. He has a clothing line named after himself. So Angie's quick at the mouth too. She's like, girl, I love how you make everything a merch moment. How fun. So now she says, so do you think that I came to your bat mitzvah and it was passive aggressive? And Meredith says, well, I heard that you wanted everything back, so I brought it back. So Angie says, is that what I said, Meredith? And you have Meredith, and Meredith, I have to clock you because you are excellent when it comes to playing semantics. And you know that you're wrong because you couldn't even answer Angie directly. You're talking about, oh, well, you did say that, right? Well, didn't you say that? Well, I thought you said that. I'm like, no, girl, answer the question. Did she say that? Yes or no? And Angie never said that. She never said, give me my gift back. She said, I came to your bat mitzvah with gifts and you came to my anniversary party empty-handed. So why I'm being kicked out of your bat mitzvah is beyond me. She never said, give me my gift, give me my gifts back. Meredith, you and I would have an issue with that because please don't play in my face like that. And again, is that what Angie said or is that what you heard? Because Angie did not say that. Meredith is the victim of the year. She is. Whitney can be demoted. I'm sorry, but Meredith is the epitome of a Karen, child. So now Angie says that she was very emotional and heated and hurt. She brought a gift. And now Brittany jumps in. I said, baby, this lady already read you down for filth at Meredith's bat mitzvah last week. Why are you going to jump into this fight between Angie and Meredith again? Like, leave well enough alone, please. Hey, Holly Young, thank you for the super chat. Just wanted to say I love your channel and your laugh is so contagious. You have me laughing with you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all are so funny. I want you guys to clap for yourselves because the way y'all have me laughing in the comments, in the chat, I always have such a good time with y'all. You guys y'all really make my day. So now it's nice to feel like it's a conversation. Like we have conversation on here. You know, that's what I really love about this. So Angie's like, Brittany, be quiet. Why are you jumping in? Stay out of it. Keep your mouth shut. And now Brittany's like, well, I'm the reason you got kicked out in the first place. I said, well, that is low-key true. Well, actually, it's Bronwyn. If we're really keeping it a stack, it's really Bronwyn. Had Bronwyn not opened up her mouth in the first place, then there would not have been that beef between Brittany and Angie in the first place. But I digress. So Angie's like, no, Brittany says, you have a history of slut shaming. And Angie's like, girl, can you please be quiet? Why are you involving yourself in this? So they're going back and forth. And Angie says, well, you know what? Take the shampoo because your hair is effing fried and it looks like you know what. Angie throws that bag of shampoo and conditioner across the table. Now, Miss Angie, girl, I say this with love, but had this been on another franchise, you would have gotten popped upside your head and that dinner table would have been turned all the way over. How dare you? And Angie, again, I love, the antics, they're cool and all, but you also need to learn how to take a beat and take it down a notch. We don't always need to see you standing up every time you get into it with somebody at a dinner table. You do that all the time and it's grating on my nerves. Had you thrown that heavy ass shampoo and conditioner, because that was a salon size. That was heavy. Had you thrown that at me across the table, I would have gone around that table and I would have gone upside your head. How dare you? Don't throw anything at me. We can argue, we can get into it, but the minute you throw something at me or you try to harm, you try to physically harm me, whether you try to hit me or throw something at me, that's when all bets are off. And whatever I do next, that's your fault. Keep your hands and keep forks and knives, utensils, keep shampoos and conditioners, keep that to yourself. Don't sit up there and throw anything at me. Had that knocked her out or hit her in the head or shattered some glass, like, don't do that. And then for you to sit up there and say, oh no, I didn't throw it at you, it slipped out of my hand, it was an accident. No, it wasn't, because you motioned like that. You lunged at her and you threw it. You did that because and see, you think that you're so funny. Because if you really just gave it to her, you would have walked around the table and just given it to her. But who throws shampoo and conditioner across the table? Like, let's stop. You can sit up there and play with them, but don't play with us. You threw that shampoo and conditioner, sis. And had it been somebody else, they would have knocked you out. Yeah, could you imagine throwing that at Portia or Candy? Exactly. You're not tossing anything at me. Exactly. Listen, y'all, I like Angie and all, but I didn't like that. I think that Angie could stand to take it down a notch herself. Because think about it. When you run on stunts and shows, that gets old quickly. So true, Brooke, that it would have been on. Angie was so dead ass wrong for throwing stuff. Exactly. She wouldn't have pulled that stunt in Jersey. Exactly that. They'd have been on the floor picking up pieces of Angie's teeth. So now Angie goes on and said, look, girl, it was an accident. You always want a problem. I said, Angie, you're not going to sit up here and play with us like that. That was not an accident. You did that on purpose. You got with the right one because somebody else would have gotten you together for that. So now Angie says, all I'm saying is stay out of our conversation. Keep your mouth shut. So Brittany's like, you slut shamed me. And now Bronwyn jumps in and says, that's not what happened. So now Brittany says, no, it is true. Angie said that I'm effing 15 people. So now Meredith says, no, she said 3 people. So they bring up when Brittany had that fireside Mormon family night Bible study at her house when Angie brought the wine. And Angie and Heather had mentioned how this new guy got her flowers. So we see in that flashback that Angie's like, oh, does your dad know that you're dating all these guys? And Brittany says, yeah, he does, because my dad's also dating 8 women. I said, oh, okay. So Angie says, you wait until another religious ceremony to say that I was slutty. So now they go back and forth about who called who a slut first. Child, it went from 3 dudes to 10 to 15. So Angie's like, no, you started it. And now Meredith says, well, girl, we all heard you call her a slut at Mary's brunch. So Angie says, you went over and said that I was slutty. So now we have Lisa jumping in. So baby, Angie clocks Lisa and she says, girl, stop sticking up for other people. You always do that. I'm tired of it. So now Lisa's like, no, girl, I want to speak in facts. So Lisa's like, I've had your back the most out of everybody at this table. So, I mean, when I tell y'all, I was getting more and more annoyed by this conversation about who called who a slut first. Like, can we just drop this? You guys are good and grown. Do what you want with your bodies. Nobody cares. Nobody's policing you. Did anybody else start screaming? Because the waiter, Juan Carlos, comes out and they're still going at it. He's trying to get their drink orders. I said, oh my gosh, can y'all just stop fighting for like 5 seconds? They need to do a show with all of the waiters and waitresses over the years who have witnessed these crazy fights on Housewives. I would love that. So now you have Brittany's talking about Angie said that she has porn star tits. And I said, she did not say that. I did not hear Angie say that to her. If she did say that, production obviously cut that out. But I said, Brittany, if she said that to you, that's a compliment. Like, girl, that they're sitting up high, honey. They're nice and perky. Like, I don't know why you're upset. I would say, oh, girl, thank you. Like, I know they look good, right? Like, I don't know why you're upset about that, but all right. I mean, I will never turn down a compliment, honey. Okay. A compliment is a compliment. So I don't know why you're upset about that. Yeah, we went from the hair is pornish to now the porn star tits, baby. I would have said, okay, girl, it's giving Brazzers, it's giving porno. Oh my goodness. So they kind of stopped fighting for a minute to order their food and drinks. And now Angie says, Brittany, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to speak to Meredith one-on-one. So Meredith says, I just want to understand because I don't understand everything that happened before my bat mitzvah. I was honestly confused as to why you even wanted to be there, considering our history. So I said, Meredith, you know that Angie's never going to miss an event because Angie wants to be in every scene. Okay. Like, let's be so for real. Angie says, well, I came because I wanted to move on a new path forward with you. I wanted to support your family, continue on a positive trajectory, and support this milestone in your life. I was blindsided because I had no idea you would kick me out. And the fact that you yelled at me in front of your kids, your mother, Heather's daughter, I did everything right. So Miss Meredith said, girl, you did not do everything right because you sat up there and slut shamed her. So no, you didn't. So Angie and Brittany start yelling again about how Brittany called Angie a slut first. Brittany's like, no, I did not. And now Bronwyn says, well, it was Brittany who started the slutty conversation. And now Bronwyn breaks down the timeline. She says Brittany said it first, and then she ran and told Angie what was said, and that's how things popped off. Now, Bronwyn, if we're being honest, girl, you're really the cause of all of this. Because yes, Brittany did open up her mouth first, but had you not told Angie in that moment, that fight would not have gone down. Babe, that high body count hair is Real Housewives classic. Yes. Wait. Talk about it. Why didn't Meredith go to the anniversary party? Miss us with the reaching, Meredith Marks. Oh, clock it. Meredith invited Angie to kick her out again. That's what it was. That's what it was. Let's thank Bronwyn, though. I mean, yeah, it did give us an iconic moment, but Bronwyn, you did start the whole mess. So now Bronwyn goes on to say, let's make it simple. Brittany said it first. She said it the meanest, and I like Brittany the least. She's the most in trouble. Now, Bronwyn, I understand that you don't like Brittany, but I am a bit baffled at how you really do harbor a lot of ill will towards Brittany when you had Heather on your ass since day one. The fact that you're angrier at Brittany and you want to see her get jumped by Angie, it's a bit weird to me because we've seen you cry when you felt like folks were jumping on you and ganging up on you and icing you out. And now for you to relish in the fact that Brittany is getting it herself, I'm like, okay, I mean, on one hand, you don't like Brittany, but I do find it weird that you just have all this hate and this lingering resentment towards her when you've been able to forgive Heather, and Heather disrespected you in your own home and you forgave that. So that's why I'm a bit troubled. I'm a bit confused as to how you're able to extend grace to Heather, but not to Brittany. Just saying. Maybe she looks down on Brittany. Yeah, a lot of y'all pointed that out in the last episode when she made that comment about, oh, who knew that I'd ever be friends with you, to Brittany and Maylee. It definitely gave looking down, respecter of persons. It definitely gave that. Brittany's still mad. Bronwyn's still mad that Brittany clocked her marriage. All this from the costume comment. Bronwyn, stand up. So now we have, okay, so Bronwyn says that it went too far between them. And she's like, Angie was wrong to say that you look like a porn star. Angie had me screaming. She said, let's not insult porn stars right now. I said, I know that's right, girl. Put some respect on their names, okay? So Lisa's like, Angie, so Lisa is even telling Angie to apologize. So she's like, you don't want to slut shame somebody, just say you're sorry. So now Heather jumps in, and Heather got it right. She says, it's not about slut shaming anybody. Angie was just saying that she's a hypocrite and that Brittany's a hypocrite because it's hypocritical to not accept wine when you drink wine and on national TV. And that was Angie's main point. Don't act like you're this goody two-shoes Mormon girl when you're not. You're out here having a good time, drinking wine, tequila, gin, vodka, whatever, and you're out here dating. Like, let's not do it. So so Heather goes on to say it's also hypocritical to act like your body count is equal to the men that you've married and you have a boyfriend. So Brittany's like, we're not sleeping together. I said, Brittany, come to the front. You want to sit up here and lie to us and say that you're not sleeping with Jared Osman? The fact that you keep going back to a man that has rejected you time and time again, I know it has to be good. That man is digging you down on the regular, because if you guys were not sleeping together, you would not have this attachment to him. Let's be for real. Things, sex does complicate things. Let's not act like it doesn't. She's not acting like somebody who has not slept with that man. They have had sex many times. And it's obviously very good, because the way she is attached to him and won't let him go, you don't act like that if you have not slept with the man yet. So please. You said he has that horse. Oh, he's eating it like lasagna. And also, this woman has low-key abandoned her children. You're not this gone off of not sleeping with somebody. I'm so sorry. Brittany thinks we're dumb as her. We grown, girl. Exactly. Y'all have me screaming in this chat. So now they're looking at her like, girl, stop. So now Angie says, well, why did he buy you that thigh-high lingerie then? And you showed us in Milwaukee. So Brittany's like, well, it was an amazing outfit. So they're like, wait, what? So now you have Bronwyn saying, nobody's buying me crotchless panties and not effing me. I'm sorry. And I said, well, no shade, Bronwyn. I don't think that Todd is buying you crotchless panties ever. I look at you two together and I just don't get that impression that anything goes down. All right, let me not be petty, but I look at you guys, I don't see any sexual chemistry at all. You said Todd is just crotchety. Oh my goodness. Child. So now Brittany says, look, guys, it's a sex forward world. And they're like, you mean sex positive? And I'm like, y'all know what she meant. Like, just get off her back for like 2 seconds. Brooke, you will not cut up like this, honey. Yes. He looked like her auditor. So now, they do agree with that, but Brittany says that there should be no shame in anything that you want to do, whether you want to be celibate, abstinent, have sex. Nobody should be shamed about that, and they all agree, and I agree with that too. So now Meredith turns to Angie and she says, I want to say something to you. I got very triggered when Brittany told me that you slut shamed her. Perhaps I did not hear the whole story, but I was hoping for a different outcome. And then she apologizes for the way it ended. And Angie says, I'm sorry too. I've always respected you as a mother. And I was devastated by how it ended too. So now she goes on to say, Meredith, I don't want to fight with you. And Meredith says, I don't want to fight with you either. This whole thing has been hurtful to me, but hopefully we can now move forward. So, I mean, so the episode ends with Angie and Meredith being on one accord for the 8 millionth time. I hope that this truce lasts. I don't think it will, because I saw them going back and forth on Twitter a few months ago. So who knows? But I was happy that we were able to find some resolution. But when I tell y'all, this episode, chef's kiss, 10 out of 10, no notes. And next week's episode, did y'all see that? I said they are giving us a nice Christmas present before the break. We see in that trailer preview that Bronwyn reveals that there was infidelity in that marriage. The audacity for that man to be cheating on her or anybody. I will be seated for that episode. But guys, this was a great live. I hope y'all have an amazing rest of your evening. I mean, I just always enjoy it. We always have a great time. The chats are always lit. I want to thank all my moderators. Thank you guys for just doing such. Just thank y'all for helping me out and making the lives smoother and easier. Thank you guys. Again, if you would like to be a moderator, just email me, let me know, give me your YouTube name and I can add you. And yeah, but I appreciate you guys. I love y'all. Have a great rest of your evening and I will see you all later. Bye guys.